Oh shit. Here we go again.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Happy Hour, or the first episode of Happy Hour. We don't fucking know yet. It all depends on when we put this out. This is just a show about two dudes playing video games, just talking about life. You want to introduce our first question?
Sure. And by the way, I'm Dosa. This is
Maple. Sorry. Listen, we don't know how this is going, but yeah, go on.
So we're childhood friends, and we're just exploring life together. So our first question is going to be: it's been a certain period of time. I'm still not over my ex. What do I do?
Yeah,
here?
what do I do?
What now?
So this is a great question as well, because I think you and I both have topics about it. So So first of all, let's talk about exes. Exes could be good or they could be bad, and I'm assuming in this person's case that they love their ex, and shit broke off. So I'm going to talk about my story about how I got over my ex in the past, and you can talk about yours. So for starters, my ex was a high school ex. We dated in high school and we broke up to distance in college. And I was fucking head over heels for this woman. I would have fucking moved heaven and earth to do so. I was even fucking going to almost switch schools to be with her, make it easier. Ultimately, I couldn't switch schools because of COVID, which is another, video for another time and all these other things. But she got a boyfriend 2 weeks after we broke up, which was kind of wild to me because I got hung up on her for a while. And as much as I would talk to people, they'd say hey, what do I do? She has someone. They'd just say, oh, dude, that's easier said than done. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, dude, really, is it really easier said? Obviously it's easier said than done, but I'm like, you're giving me advice saying just get over her. That doesn't really work, I gotta say. I mean, because you see all over, it's all blown up on social media, it's blown up on fucking in your mind, it's blown up everywhere, and it kind of just gets you down. I guess the best way to explain it is sometimes it's kind of like you go to your
just get over her 5 head.
What?
Just get over her 5 head.
Yeah, just get over. No, it's more like kind of like how do I explain it? It's like you go to an Italian restaurant, right? And let's say you go there every single night. You go there every single night and you order the same thing. Let's say the pasta linguine with fucking side of bread, whatever. I don't know, because everybody likes bread and carbs. And that's great. And then one day you go into the restaurant, you're like, hey, I will get this. And the waiter says, sorry, we don't really have that available. Can I offer you something else? And you look around and you say, that's pretty interesting because I see other people ordering the same, the pasta linguine, and I can't have it. It doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of the way I see it, relationships is some other YouTuber told me that as well a while back. He said, you will pretty much be ordering something and one day you just can't order it. And that's because everyone else can, but you can order other things. And that's something to do about breakups as well. Is one of my roommates said the best way to get over a girl is to get under another one. If you get that reference. But it's kind of just you just got to do that, which is, it's unfortunate and it takes time. But, for me, what really got me to move on from an ex is I started going out there and socializing. Obviously, everybody has that slutty weekend, whatever, where they just fucking become a hoe and have sex with everything and anyone that can touch, assuming they're of age to having sex and shit, of course.
Right.
Do you want to give some input? I want to give you a chance to speak a bit about it.
No, yeah, there were some interesting things you said there. I think okay, if you were to rewind it back, right? Okay, so the hoe phase and all that, it's there, and the best way to get over someone is to get under, yes, but okay, I wanted to touch upon something you said before. Yeah, okay. So I think also you've been eating the same thing, right, for a long duration of time, and now you have to eat something else, dude. No matter how good that other thing is, there's going to be two things. First, you're going to compare it to the first thing. You're going to compare it to your pasta linguine. That's a-okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
because that pasta linguine set you a standard for what to expect from this restaurant, right? From the restaurant of love. You know what to expect. So if you're still thinking about your ex, doesn't mean that you're not necessarily over her. It doesn't really mean that you can never be over her. It just means that dish left an impression on you.
Yeah.
A. And B, trying a new dish itself is just going to be awkward. Having sex with someone, especially as a hookup, after you've been eating the same dish for a while is going to be awkward. And I think
I really want to add on to this as well. It is awkward, and the reason
you might be reluctant. You might just go hungry. You might just rather be I'd rather be hungry. I'd rather starve than eat another dish.
Because the reason why it's awkward, I feel is because you're known oh, this is gotta be Like, you know, when you're fucking like
get
watching
this.
like a show and someone's like, yeah, this shit is like canon, whatever. Like, this shit is like legit. It's truth. And like, you may be happy with it. You may be sad with it, but that's what it feels like. Is your first
It's all there
relationship
is.
could
It's all
feel
you
like,
know.
yeah, this is all you know. It must be right. But that's the reality is because it's your first, it's not, it doesn't need to be number one. Like I know a friend that, you know,
Right.
he dated someone and, you know, he ended up eventually like fucking, they're still together and they've been dating since like high school essentially. And that's like nuts, like good for them and everything.
But it's not
Um,
everyone's story. Not
but it's not
everyone's first
everybody's
is gonna
stories. Yeah, it's not
be
everyone's
awesome.
story. And that's all right. We're all on different paths.
But I do second. I'm not a thought. I'm like not a hoe, me personally. Not that
Yeah.
there's anything wrong with it, but I'm just like that's not what I've done to get over people. But going on dates and getting to know other people definitely helps because you get to see that like there's just different people out there, right? That can fulfill different needs. But it also really like selfishly helps you. The fact that you can be validated, you know, by multiple different people. It's not just one person saying that you're handsome. It's not just one person in this world that thinks that you're worthy of love, that you're handsome, that you're this, that you're that. It's like multiple people
Yeah.
that you can attract and that you can keep. That should really help validate who you are and help validate the feeling that like you're worthy of love from more than just one person. And I
Yeah.
think that's why honestly like having your quote unquote hoe phase or whatever is important. Not just to bust, but to just remind yourself that, oh my God, wait, like I am a valuable, attractive person, and not just one person feels this way. And it's a good feeling.
Yeah. And I mean, going
I
off
hope
of
that
that,
helps.
yeah,
If that
that
makes sense.
definitely
Yeah.
helps. And, you know, going off as well as like, you know, self-value and mental health is like, it's also normal. I think something as well as people like, you know, kind of like
I think a lot of
stigmatize
guys
like,
struggle, bro. A lot of
yeah,
guys
like,
struggle with like nobody fucking tells them that they're handsome, bro. Like if you go
yeah,
on like a girl's Instagram page, dude, a girl's Instagram page is just so much fucking different.
yeah, it is.
Right?
And
Because it's all her girls saying, you're so pretty, you're so this." In my opinion, in the dating scene, like if you look at a dating app, like if you're a girl, you'll get tons more matches than a guys. And I think guys
yes, that's
generally,
true as
in my
well.
opinion, have it really tough when people don't tell them that, hey, like you're worthy, you're attractive, you're this, you're that. It's just a bunch of people being like, dude, you're scrawny, bro, you're fat, bro, you're
Yes.
fucking
Yeah.
worthless,
Yeah.
bro. You can't lift this, you're a fucking loser, bro. Like
yeah, I've,
nobody
no
people
one,
do say that to girls, but it's just for guys. It's I can only speak to the guy experience, so I don't want to compare to girls. All I'm saying is it definitely hurts guys' psyche. Period.
yeah, 100%. You know, it's crazy as well. Like, I saw like a statistic. I don't even, honestly, I'm not even gonna mention it, but it was like like I was baffled by just seeing like the mental health on guys that's just unquestioned. It's a story for another time, but I was, you know, talking about men's mental health is just, it's so terrible because there's so many fucking like stigmas and shit of like, oh, you got to be like sigma male, alpha male, whatever. But that's not the case, you know,
Yeah,
fully.
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I think something as well that I want to talk about like the relationship aspect is it's okay to, like I said, it's okay to not, you know, have it take a while. I think for me, it took, I want to say what, 2.5 years for me to get over my ex. And I don't know if that's normal or if that's not, but you know, I was really in love with this girl. And the fact that she was out of my life kind of hurt me, like, because it's all I knew. You know what I mean? Like, it's all I knew. And I was just sad that all I knew is missing now.
Yeah, and I think two things. Yeah, go on, go on. No, no,
No,
go
no,
on.
sorry.
No,
Go on.
no.
You go on. You go on. I don't want to cut you off.
No, I was going to say two things that also really helped me was like journaling and constantly reminding myself why did I break up, right? Or
Yeah.
why we broke up. If it's mutual, why we broke. And if she broke up with you, then it's like a kind of maybe a more different. You might have to think about what can you do to ensure that doesn't happen again, especially if the reasons are valid. If you were like, oh, and I think you can honestly relate to this, right? Like, and same thing for me. Like, okay, so yeah, it's happy hour, so we can just say names like Catherine. I'm sure I know you got similar fucking reasons. Catherine was like, dude, you're not fucking reliable person. Like she took me out for my birthday. Like remember this all happened during COVID and I was like, I
Yeah.
still liked her and stuff. And she took me out for my birthday and I'm like, dude, we get along so freaking well. Why are we still friends? And she's like, dude, you don't have your driver's license at 19. Like you are not someone I can rely on. Like
Yeah.
physically, like you're a good friend in that. Like I can tell you about my trauma. I can tell you about so much things mentally, and I know you'll shoulder the emotional burdens for me. But
Yeah.
if we were to move in together, if we were to do long distance, can I expect you to drive to me or even drive to meet me halfway? Can I expect
Yeah.
you to talk about your career with my parents? Can I expect you to make no? You just fucking got kicked out. This is like a story from our time. You got kicked out of a program that like set you up for a career. You don't have your license, like all this shit. Like I just was not physically, how do I say this? Reliable. I wasn't reliable as a person. And I think like so if the person's breaking up with you and I'm kind of equating me being rejected by someone as me being broken up with. Like you might have to reevaluate who you are as a person. Yes, and I want to give you some space to talk about that too. But then B, again, if you were the one doing the breaking up with, or if it was mutual, then you should just journal and remind yourself, why did we break up? Why did we break up?
Yeah.
Because you might be giving yourself space, like physically, like you might not be seeing that person, but if you're not giving yourself space mentally, and you're not trying to like, and you're not making the effort to not think about the person, you're not making the effort to think about what else life has to offer, then you're not giving yourself space from her. Then she's living in your head rent free, and that's an issue.
And I think,
But yeah, I do want to hear your thoughts, especially about like when someone breaks up with you for not being reliable, because I freaking know. I think that's a really important thing to talk about.
speaking of that as well, that's something as well. My
That's
ex said
huge.
is she said I could not be a pillar of like support. Like I could not be like a beam that she could rely on. And that was something that messed me up for a while because truthfully as well, I mean, currently now, like that's literally like, it's funny enough, like complete opposite spectrum, but that's all I've tried to be now is I try to be a
Literally
beam.
the hero.
The hero, like someone that can always rely on me. I guess that's just another reason why it just didn't work out between me and my ex, but it was just nuts to, I guess like have to deal with that. Like someone telling you you're not enough, which was kind of upsetting.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, yeah. Like objectively, there's some subjectively, right? There might be something wrong, and I don't want to cause some sort of like depression by some like by being like, yeah, you should always listen to your ex if he tells you that you're not enough.
Yeah.
But if
But
you
there
can
is
identify,
some criticism.
yeah, yeah, if she's outlined, like ask her to outline. If you guys can like ask her to outline, like, wait, what exactly is wrong with me? Like again, like in Catherine, like outline to me, like, yo, you're 19 and no driver's license. That's a red flag, right? And you know that was like a huge meme in our fucking friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking.
So if you can kind of pinpoint exactly what she means by, oh, you're not enough.
Yeah.
If it's if you got to take pills and elongate your dick, like then maybe you shouldn't listen to her, right? That's like a stupid thing. But if it's like personality things or it's things that are like not only within your control but reasonable for you to change, like that's not like your dick size or something, you might want to keep that in mind, and not with the hopes of winning her back, but with the hopes of being someone that anyone else in the future can rely on. Because if she can't rely on you, there are probably more people in your life that can't rely on you.
Yeah, 100%. And before I end this episode, I just want to say you could always end up back together. That's something that could happen. But if it's something that like she gets another boyfriend, whatever, or something, and like it ends up that it doesn't, that's okay too. That's part of life. And you're gonna go to bed one day and you'll be like, wow, this shit fucking sucks. But you're gonna wake up the next morning and you're gonna realize that you woke up. The world's still turning, and that's something that I think I want to end on is the world still turns. And that's it. That's truthfully it. Exes, in short, exes, they're tough to overcome, man. They're fucking inner demons,
in a way. For growth.
But,
and I think like one last point that I also want to mention is
but
like,
they count for,
you might change because of them, but don't change for them. Like might be their catalyst for growth. Yeah, you might change because of them. That's great. That's okay. Don't change for them though, because you might not ever get back together.
And that's how you lose yourself. But without further ado, that is an episode of Happy Hour.
Awesome.
And
this was great.
We'll be answering more questions, man. We don't know our exact upload schedule, but we'll just stay tuned for more content. And listen, feel free to always submit questions to us, like in comments below or some shit. Because that'd be really cool if we had like I said,
the
point of
this, your questions, comment us, DM your questions, literally email us your questions, anything. Like we're here to just create a community for us to talk about stuff and relate on our life issues, no matter how diverse our life experiences are. I think there are certain threads that tie us together, and I want to just talk about this. We want to talk about this. Yeah.
And that's it. Thank you all for watching or tuning in.
Have a happy rest of your hour, y'all.
Yeah, have a happy rest of your hour. I like that. Anyways, ciao guys. Peace.